Now we continue our Scarborough Country investigation into what really happened to missing American groom George Smith IV. As you know, he disappeared from a Royal Caribbean cruise line on July 5th near Turkey. And there are so many unanswered questions for the Smith family. And despite our questions, the cruise line simply refuses to send somebody from the company to come on this show to talk to me. Now, earlier today, I invited the chairman of Royal Caribbean, Richard Fain, to appear on this show with me and answer a few questions. No response to our invitation. Now, there's a shocker. So we're going to ask again, and now I'm asking on TV. Richard Fain, come to Scarborough Country. I want to ask you some questions about what happened to George Smith, how he disappeared from your Royal Caribbean cruise line, brilliance of the sea, and also how you conducted the investigation. Tonight, though, I'm going to raise some tough questions for Royal Caribbean and Mr. Fain in the hopes that he will enter Scarborough Country tomorrow and answer some of these questions. If not, we're going to keep answering them because I think that Americans have a right to know if they send their loved ones, like, for instance, my parents. They had a 50th anniversary coming up this weekend. Before this broke, I was going to send them on a cruise line. That's the last thing I'd do. I need to know if I send my parents, if I send my children, if I send my friends on a cruise line, is it safe? With me now to talk about that, we've got maritime attorney and former cruise line insider Jack Hickey. And by phone again, we've got Chuck Harris, former security chief with Carnival Cruise Lines. Gentlemen, welcome to the show again. Jack, let me begin with you. If you got the CEO of this cruise line in front of you or across the table in a deposition, what's the first question you want him to answer about this investigation?
Joe, the first question I want him to answer, although I wouldn't put it this way, is when the cruise line employees are out there scraping up the blood from the awning at 7 a.m., 3 hours roughly after the thump was heard by Cleet Hyman. When they're out there doing that, is this a cleanup or is this a cover-up?
What about video cameras? You got any questions about surveillance to protect the customers on these cruise lines?
Absolutely, and that is a huge area that nobody has really resolved yet. Did the cruise line have, as we all know they did, security cameras on George Smith when he's in the casino, when he's drinking, when he's gambling, when he's winning all this cash? Did they have that? What became of that? Do they still have that? Have they reviewed that? What does that show? Where is it? Can we have it? Can you have it, Joe? Can you get
Jack, I mean, it doesn't seem like it would be that hard in a confined area to have enough video cameras up there to try to figure out and piece together what happened that night. It just doesn't seem, especially in casinos and bars and discos and all these areas where these people were hanging out, all the key hours of this night where he disappears. I want to ask you the next thing about crew members. What about these crew members that the next door neighbors to the Smiths are saying, these two crew members that showed up outside of Mr. and Mrs. Smith's room at 4:15, 4:20 in the morning, about the same time that Cleet Hyman heard the sickening thud? How important is that for him to come forward and answer that question?
Well, I think that's real important because, you know, those crew members, from what I've heard from the accounts, they do match the description of security personnel in general. The uniforms, the description, the backgrounds, what they look like and things. What did they see? Who called them? You know, who called them? What were the complaints exactly? Noises? Did they see people coming in and out? Did those crew members ever get inside that cabin? What did they see? What does the cruise line know about what those two folks saw and heard? And why
that is so important. Yeah. Jack Hickey and Chuck Harris, thanks a lot. We are completely packed as far as time goes. Apologize for not being able to get more to that. We're going to get you back on tomorrow night to continue. But if you're on that cruise line, you have information you want to share with us because you want justice in this case. That's all you want. Do that by emailing me at joe@msnbc.com. We'll be right back in a second.